Good YouTube, good family. It's your boy Mount back with another video. If you're new to this channel, please do me a huge favor. It's a simple act that I'm asking for you to do. Huge favor to me, minor to you. Just hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave a comment. You feel me? Follow me on this journey. We're going 30 days straight calisthenics workout, full body. You know what I'm saying? It's light work, but we're still getting some work in. You feel me? Next month I'm planning on joining the gym, and also check out my shorts. I got a goal to complete 100 push-ups straight before the end of the month. Today I fell short. I only hit 65, but the most that I hit so far is 81, you feel me? I got until the end of the month though, you feel me? Still got a long way to go. So, yeah, man, let's get this work in. If you're at the crib and you're sitting on the couch and you ain't got nothing to do, just get up and get in that pocket with me, you feel me? Get some work in. Get down on the floor, that's all you need. The ground in your body weight, man. Let's get it.
How the internet sways your reality without you even knowing. You see, unfortunately, there's two options when it comes to the nature of reality. You can control reality or you can let reality control you. And when it comes to the internet, a lot of people are having their entire universes curated by the universe without them even knowing, because you think to yourself, oh, it's just social media, it's just the internet. But what if the internet had the capability of quite literally rearranging the world that you live in? Rearranging the people that you're able to bring within your proximity? In some ways, even minimizing the experiences that you seek to materialize into existence. Because as I always say, spirituality without the ability to control your reality is nothing but vanity. And unfortunately, if you don't have the capability of being aware of how the universe is actually traumatizing you into worse conditions, then you will always be a victim of the universe. And unfortunately, awareness is the first step to transformation, but without awareness, there's no potentiality for transformation. And one thing that I can say, this video is going to be a combination of technology, AI, and metaphysics, because the truth of the matter is, when I look around the world and I see how people are quite literally put into new worlds from their phones, social media, so on and so forth, it's actually quite scary. And if you're not aware of this and you don't know how to counter this, you will also be a victim just like everybody else. And as you can see our lovely drawing here today, you can see a phone. You know, I don't know what type of phone this is. It's one of the, it's like one of the first smartphones. You can see heartbreak, sadness, no bread, stocks going down, messages. And at this point, I just keep outdoing myself. One thing that I want to make abundantly clear is that, like I said, there's really two options in the nature of the universe. You can control reality or allow reality to control you. You can brainwash yourself or be brainwashed. You can program yourself or be programmed. And I say this as an individual that is quite literally hired by 7 to 9 figure entrepreneurs, professional athletes, and Hollywood actors. So believe me when I tell you, if you aren't being hyper aware of what you're consuming, you'll be unaware of what you're creating. And that's a bar, write that down. Because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to manifestation, it's simply the concept that whether self-concept, mental attitude, state of consciousness, frequency, those things unfold from you and they begin to influence the world that you live in. And the truth of the matter is, if you're unaware of how your frequency is being altered by what you're seeing, then you're going to be unaware of why you're in a particular world, why you're living in a particular existence, why you're going through particular things. And like I said, the nature of reality unfolds from you. It's very important for you to understand that reality unfolds from you. And if you're unaware of what's taking place within you, what's going on outside of you won't make any sense at all. Now, just to reiterate, reality is nothing more than a reflection of aspects of your self-concept, state of consciousness, frequency, mental attitude. But if you're unaware of how these things are being influenced by the internet or social media, you're going to be unaware that you're quite literally being transported into different realities without you even realizing. Now, one thing that I want to make abundantly clear is that, like I said, this video, my usual videos is just straight spiritual shit, straight metaphysical stuff. This is going to include a bit of technology, and if I don't toot my own horn, I do have a degree in computer science. Have I ever used it? Absolutely not. But here's an opportunity for you to do so, because this is some of the stuff that I was learning at university, which, looking back is very, very scary.
Who controls what happens next?
Like I said,
we would ask that because we are used to the idea that the process of nature.
Social media. And we have to understand that, like I said, you quite literally live in a universe. The universe is nothing more than a reflection of your consciousness, self-concept, mental attitude and frequency. These are all interchangeable terms for the same thing. But if you're unaware of how you are affected by the world around you, then you'll never come to the realization that even though it's the internal that leads to the external, if the external has the capability of affecting your internal, it will begin to reflect whatever was the first causal point. Now, I'd like to bring your attention to something that you might have heard of, you might not have heard of. This will be extremely terrifying for you, but when I first heard it, I was like, damn. We begin with something called the dead internet theory. The dead internet theory, because it's a theory that unfortunately can't be substantiated. The dead internet theory is nothing more than the idea that the majority of the internet is bots. And I mean this. I mean this in every way. The individuals that you see interacting in comments, individuals with profiles and videos, people commenting, interacting, even DMs, these are majority bots. And this is what the dead internet theory, the dead internet theory simply states the idea that practically most of the internet is dead because we have this naivete that we're thinking when we see things online, we're interacting with other people and these are real people. But what if you're not interacting with people? What if they're bots? Now, I say what if, but I'd like to let you in on something. Now, like I said, I've had the pleasure of working with amazing people. One of my clients, shout out A, because I know you're going to be gassed when you see this. He is an AI engineer at one of the most prominent AI companies in the world. You can do the maths. Now, when I first started working with A, he told me something very interesting because we're talking about his background, so on and so forth. Now, there was this event that took place called Cambridge Analytica, which was nothing more than political votes being swayed by bots online. User-generated content made by bots swaying political votes online. You know, one particular wing, you know, profiles, comments, videos, everything, swaying quite literally the direction of the masses to present the illusion that something happened that wasn't happening. A told me that he created the server infrastructure for those very things. He told me he created thousands of fake Facebook profiles that had history, that had comments, that had likes, that had dislikes, that had posts, that had videos. Everything that you can see in a real person's profile, they had tens of thousands. He created them. And when I heard this, it confirmed something that was very, very dangerous for me, which in a way is the dead internet theory. Because what if most of the things that you're seeing online, the people, I'm even talking about niggas that make videos, nigga, even me. Most of the things that you're seeing from, and I truly mean this, videos, you're seeing someone post their kids, you're seeing videos about people sharing their experiences of life. Most of them niggas aren't even fucking real. And that's a very, very scary thing to consider. I'm even talking about when somebody comments and you reply to them and they reply back, or you're seeing comments just replying to each other again and again and again. Even the University of Zurich done an experiment on Reddit where they quite literally created bots just to see if the bots, could get a lot of upvotes on Reddit, and they did. This is happening, whether you realize this or not. And we see this in various industries. It's very known in the music industry. A lot of bots are used to sway the direction of certain artists, certain agendas, so on and so forth. But we isolate it to music. But no, this could literally be in all areas of life, each and every belief system. And this is where it gets very, very scary, because as we know, your beliefs are quite literally the blueprint for the reality that you live in. That's what borrow that down. They say a bug's world is only big as the leaf that it sits on. And the leaf that you sit on is your frequency, your state of consciousness, your self-concept. And if your state of consciousness or frequency has the capability of being affected by these bots, then in a way, that leads to the materialization of you being a bot. And you really have to understand one thing in particular. The basis of the dead internet theory, the whole point of these bots is to attain engagement. And how do you attain engagement? By being polarizing. Because what does being polarizing do? It warrants a reaction. And if you pay attention to one thing in particular, reaction and creation are anagrams of each other, the exact same letters. And that's the truth of the matter, that your reaction indicates a particular state of consciousness, self-concept, frequency to the universe. The things that you react to, especially with emotion, Because as we know, emotion in of itself is the language of God. It's the language of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind being the womb of your reality, on earth as it is in heaven, as within, as without. Allah does not change the conditions of people until they change what is within themselves. If you have the capability, or if these quote-unquote bots have the capability of stimulating an intense emotional reaction within you, then they have the capability, based upon that emotional charge, of having direct access to your subconscious mind. And you know what's even fucking more scary? When you're using your phone, just like when you're in front of the TV, your conscious mind disappears and your subconscious mind comes forward. So what if you're most vulnerable when you're just scrolling through your phone, doom scrolling? Just scrolling through your phone, doom scrolling. Between the emotion, between the relaxation, which means your brain is operating in a theta alpha wave state, which is conducive to entrance into the subconscious mind being the womb of reality. What if the very things that you're seeing are swaying your consciousness? And if they can sway your consciousness, they can sway your world without you even realizing. Because like I said, reaction is a form of creation. That's to borrow that down. The reaction that you have for a particular thing indicates a resonance with that in the universe. Then the universe, based upon that resonance, begins to materialize more conditions, circumstances, events, and people that reflect whatever it is that you are reacting to.
It consists of controllers and controlees. Things that do and things that are done to. This is purely mythological. So many spiritual teachers and gurus will look at their disciples and say, I am God.
Make sure you take notes and leave them in the comments as usual. Because like I said, these have one purpose: to sway the collective consciousness. For whatever the individual that is doing this, for whatever purpose it is that they want, whether it's music, whether it's politics, whether it's a certain belief system, whether it's to dehumanize certain people, whether it's to idolize certain people, whether it's to push a certain narrative. The truth of the matter is, if you're unaware of the bots that are taking place, then you inevitably become a bot yourself. It's terrifying. And I say this as a computer scientist. I keep saying this. I've never actually used my degree. I just have it. It's terrifying. Because I remember learning about this thinking, goodness gracious, it makes me look at things a certain way. Now I appreciate all the comments that you lot leave and that, but some of you niggas are bots. Somebody's a bot there. And even if you look under the comments of some of my videos or other people's videos, you'll see people be like, yeah, you know, I was just struggling so much, and I was going through this situation, and then I found this book, and this really was the thing that worked. They have whole fucking stories. They have whole backstories. And they'll reply to each other underneath and underneath and underneath and underneath.
And also like each other's comments.
Nigga, you see a comment, in 5 minutes, it's got 500 likes. How the hell does that make sense? And I really need you to think about this, especially as AI begins to evolve. Because this all began from the Turing test. Turing test was just simply a conversation. It was a test, right, by Alan Turing to see if a human could distinguish whether they were talking to a bot or a human being. We're past that. We're way past that. Even I see some videos online as a computer scientist. And even seeing those videos, I'm like, is this real? The whole time it's not real. And I need you to see how this becomes very, very dangerous, because a lot of mistakes that niggas make is thinking, oh, I'm spiritual. I don't watch the news. They don't need the news anymore. They got social media, because it does just the same thing. Just people will be like, I'm so spiritual, I don't watch the news because it's not vibrational. All they push is fear. And Nigga, open Twitter and you get mad in 5 minutes. You see something on TikTok and you get mad in 5 minutes. And this is me too. But I just like to point out one thing in particular. All of this is about how this has the capability of quite literally influencing your reality. If we reverse engineer it, we go to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind responds to emotion. Emotion is stimulated by a reaction. The reaction is predicated by the polarizing things that you see online, and these bots are seeking engagement. And the fact that they're seeking engagement means they're going to be outrageous as possible. And this isn't even about bots for real. This could be even about other people that you see, quote-unquote influencers. And we're going to get into it, because it's about to get real metaphysical. It's going to get real metaphysical. So let's go.
No, you was spitting stuff.
Yeah, wipe him out.
My phone, bro. Anyway, speaking of comments, let's read some comments.
Reading comments, yo. Reading comments feels different now.
Yeah.
Feels different now.
bro.
Yo.
Someone said, are you a Gemini or an Aquarius?
Oh, how did you know? How did you know? Oh, Matora.
Gave you 2 options and you're none.
You get me? Yeah, you should just stop. You should just stop trying to guess people's astrological signs.
Someone else said you should try DMT, craziest intelligence.
Absolutely not. When your legs don't work like they used to before, and darling, I will be loving you till we're 17. Dun, 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 dun. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Place your head on my beating heart. Thinking out loud, baby, we found the right where we are. Now, one thing that I'd like to make very, very clear is that a lot of you catch bullets that never had your name on it. And what I mean by that is this: we can unconsciously begin to catch stray, energetic bullets that begin to sway our reality without us even realizing. Now, I always say, you have to understand one thing: the subconscious mind primarily responds to emotion. Emotion is the language of God. And how do I know that the subconscious, people say, oh, it's repetition, it's this, it's this? No. All an individual has to go through is one traumatic experience for their entire mind perception to be completely altered. You only need to go through that once. And what is trauma? Most people make trauma the extremity, but the truth of the matter is trauma is just nothing more than an emotionally intense, negative occurrence. Any particular situation that was able to cause a large degree or intensity of negative emotion within you, once you begin to see that as trauma, then you become aware to the fact of one thing in particular. The internet is just people traumatizing each other without even realizing. Quite literally. And as I always say, when it comes to the subconscious mind, there's 2 particular ways that the emotional intensity begins to operate. It's either one through experience, which is irrelevant for this video today, but the one that we really want to focus on is observation. See, a lot of people think that they need to go through something in order for them to begin to experience it, but observation is just as powerful. There's aspects of your mind that have been programmed. Your subconscious mind has been impressed from just sheer observation of other people's lives without you even realizing it. We think to ourselves, you know, of course we begin to understand this in a more physical sense of our parents and observing them, the emotional intense experiences that they go through. For example, if you continuously see your parents struggling financially, the emotional intensity of that situation predicated by the observation creates an emotional charge that then enters the subconscious mind, which inevitably sets you up to go through the same thing. And this is where it gets really, really scary. Because you have to begin to understand, typically, what is it that you're consuming on social media or the internet? I mean, even what you scroll through is called a feed, and that's because it's feeding your frequency. That's a bar of that down. And if you're unaware of the fact of what is being fed to your frequency, then you'll be unaware of why certain things are taking place in your reality. And let's really think about this for a minute. Let's say, typically, right, my niggas are always sending me some girl that cheated on her man in the worst way ever, and he didn't know, and this, and this. I'll be chatting to them, and they'll be like, nah, man, women are wicked, da-da-da-da-da. And I would begin to physically see them sad. Physically, they look like they're going to throw up just from watching some video of some random person they don't even know go through a particular experience. And then what takes place? Based upon that observation, an intense degree of negative emotion is stimulated while their mind is in a relaxed state, meaning that more than likely their brain waves are producing theta waves. And if that is true, then that means their subconscious mind is being fed the feed. Ooh. And then guess what? based upon what they're seeing, combined with that emotion, enters their subconscious mind. Then they go and date a girl. They go through some fuckery. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. Women will come out and see one girl being cheated on in this mad scandal, and it's so terrible because they're the influencers of the year and couple goals and all of this and all of that. And then, based upon the observation of that particular experience, naturally you begin to feel a particular degree of resonance with the pain that that individual
in the
is
bag.
going through. Without realizing, based upon the
Y'all know the drill.
stimulation
I'm gonna see y'all
predicated by the
tomorrow, day 10.
observation, the emotionally intense experience
Love.
occurs